Sorry about this, but parts 2 and 3 have to be done in audio only. I'm having trouble putting the video segments into my editing program, so just until further notice, this is all you're gonna get. This is illustration and audio. Enjoy! Welcome to part 2 of Equestria Girls 2. The movie.
Part 2 of the review of Equestria
Part 2
Girls
of
2.
the Yeah, sorry, we ran out of rooms. This is part 2. Anyway, so you were saying,
No,
or is it my turn?
I mean, it can be your turn. I realized how contrived, how not just poor, but contrived the first Equestria Girls was. How many things hinged on not plans, not character intent, unimportant. Whereas in this, like, okay, so in second Equestria Girls, I'll compare it to the last Harry Potter book, in that it was super predictable, but it was predictably well done, right? It's like basically satisfying. Nothing new and exciting happens, but everything hits when it's supposed to hit and where it's supposed to hit. Whereas in Equestria Girls, nothing was supposed to hit in the first one. Right? There was no setup. It was just, there's a new world, this is someone stole a crown. But we never got to follow the point of the thievery, and Twilight, things kind of happened to her more than she made things happen.
Yeah, other than her little bit of logic. And let's apply logic here. Now we're all friends again.
And it's interesting because they knew that the stuff in the sequel, they knew the stuff happening actually in Equestria wasn't important. So just to get Twilight there and no one else doubling, they just kind of lampshaded everything and did the hand wave. And that is on some level kind of infuriating, but they had to. They didn't have time to make that happen. Honestly, I'll tell you, when she went through the portal, I was hoping that it would just explode and, terrify the other ponies back in Equestria. Just to give, because at that point I wasn't, because we just cut to another universe and a character who hadn't been there. I wasn't sold that this was going to take us anyplace interesting. It didn't raise the stakes, right? No. Having Twilight show up.
No.
It was cool that then she wasn't sure she could actually pull it off. And in fact, she wasted all that time. She wasn't doing what would have worked.
Yeah.
And that's all interesting. That's fine.
But this is supposed to be her arc about her discovering what it takes to be a leader, and sometimes you have to realize that she has limitations, that she cannot solve every problem. Because she is a problem solver. She is a smart pony, so she prides herself on being the smart one. But she realizes, oh wait, I can't always have the answer.
But I also think that, but she also always stresses about not having the answer. I think that it's more fundamental than that, right? It is about what they say it's about in the movie, and that is that people expect her to have an answer on time. But I think that Twilight Sparkle's purpose in this movie is not as Twilight Sparkle, but as the mirror of Sunset Shimmer.
Well, they are supposed to be almost the same character.
They're supposed to have had the same life at one point. They're not supposed to be the same character.
Well, okay, the same life.
And I think that Twilight Sparkle's the good student. She's actually not even necessarily a genius. She is very smart. But she's not the person who just grabs life and figures out how it works. She's the person who studies life because books are her life.
She's the faithful student.
In fact, Twilight Sparkle's value is exaggerated as a character because she has crazy internal Super Saiyan juju going on, which she didn't earn, right? She just, for some reason, magically has it. And that's fine. That works for the story. But whereas Sunset Shimmer is not that way. Sunset Shimmer's power, whenever she had it, whatever it was earned. It's just that she was overeager, and actually that's great too, is the idea that she's also the most mature of all of them now.
Yeah.
Because she's been through stuff. The Pinkie Pie, the Pinkie Pie of Equestria has been through more than we understand. The Pinkie Pie of, I don't know, Camelot High, whatever that universe is called, is just a girl. Right, she's got a dumb family, but that's all. Like, she hasn't been through anything.
You don't know anything about Maud, do you?
Yeah. And no, I do know things about Maud.
Oh, you do know about Maud.
Yeah.
Okay, he knows about Maud. Okay, that was a good cameo. It's like, it's like, hey, it's Maud. It's her pet rock that still she thinks is alive.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And of course, cameos were more important in this one. And the other one, cameos.
Okay, remember the piano part where they're doing Battle of the Bands and going back and forth between the bands?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know any of the side characters' names. Do you know any of the side characters? Okay.
I did at one point. I don't remember them.
Okay. The piano people,
That's Lyra. I believe that's Lyra and Bonbon.
Yeah.
And they were playing really super close to each other. And I'm thinking to myself, are they deliberately doing that as a reference to their relationship in the fanfics? If they are, that's incredibly inappropriate for their age and situation right now in a children's film.
Obviously, they're shipped pretty hard.
Yes.
But so why are two people who are shipped hard sitting next to each other inappropriate?
Because this is a children's film.
But like
They're trying. Why Rarity said past boo-boos and not past sins? You wanna know?
Oh, see. Okay.
She's not allowed. Not only is it to say sins is not an inappropriate word. The thing it's saying past sins is a reference to the fanfic past sins.
Right. But also past boo-boos is funnier.
Yes.
I mean, it was cute, right? So here's the thing. So I think that we had I forget his name, but Twilight and blue hair dude.
Flash Thompson, Flash Sentry.
Yeah, Flash Sentry. Like they keep bumping into each other and like
she keeps
accidentally hugging and like blushing and stuff. If that's not inappropriate, then how are Lyra and Bonbon sitting together inappropriate?
I'm surprised that they did a nod to that. Is all I'm saying.
And you're sure it was a nod, and not just the fact they're always joined at the hip, because they are. Like that's the characterization for those two, even very early on, isn't it?
Drinking my coffee.
No, anyway,
I love Lyra and Bonbon. I love all shippings. Just so you know.
Oh, I'm not into shipping, y'all. I'm not against romance between anybody who is compatible, or even people who are just trying stuff out. But the whole industry, the whole cottage industry of shipping is something that is sort of it just makes me uneasy. It seems to not be rooted in character, and I'm into things being rooted in character.
Quite a few fanfics are rooted in character. Not a lot, but a few.
No. Of course they are, and your fanfic wouldn't be successful if it didn't represent something that someone saw in those characters, right? That's important.
Yeah.
But it's also not centrally about that. That's just a floater in the world of fanfiction. You know what I'm saying?
A bit.
But Lyra and Bonbon, point is, you'd be satisfying the shippers if you just played them the way they always were.
Yes.
Because they're always together. They're a unit, right?
Yes. It just seemed too close.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's just like, you can have them be close. Fine, whatever. But it's like, they did it, like, purposely close. It's like, okay, you don't need to make it purposely. Just have them be close. You don't have to make them purposely close.
Anyway. But I do think that super tight, intense relationships are something that kids have quite often.
It can happen, but are never expressed in media.
Which is dumb.
Which is dumb.
Anyway, blah, blah, blah. That's why I think that shipping would not exist nearly as much as it does now if we didn't overvalue and then hide sex. Sex is not as important and awesome as we believe it is deep down inside, and it's not something that we should be hiding so much. We would realize that there were a lot of things that aren't sex that we're also hiding, that we need.
See, this is why I like MLP and anime, because it makes you think. That's a sign of a good series, where it makes you think and express things and philosophize without having to get drunk.
I'll tell you something. I think MLP makes you think not just because of what it is. What it is part of it, but there's the context of the fact that it's for kids.
Yes.
And yet it's this way that makes us think, because we're thinking about it in a different way. We don't look at it just as viewers. We look at it as viewers and as people who are sort of judging the educational value or the emotional impact of it. I think it's interesting. Well, I do think that part of the fun and clever, but also consistent way in which the creators of the show think was not evidenced in the first movie, but was highly represented here. I still don't think it got a chance to truly shine because it was this weird Magic High School movie. It reminded me a lot of some of the Scooby-Doo versus Real Monsters straight-to-video movies from '99. But which I also like, but they're not. It's not high cinema. But there's a depth to their comedy thinking there that is very much what shines through My Little Pony, the most recent incarnation, that does not shine through other cartoons, especially cartoons aimed at girls. And it's not because girl stuff is bad. It's because people talk down to girls. Yeah, so this Equestria Girls Battle of the Bands movie, Rainbow Rocks. We haven't said that yet. It's Rainbow Rocks.
Yeah, for some strange reason, it's Rainbow Rocks. I still don't understand. I do not understand the subtitle there. We know Rainbow has a band. I don't know why that's supposed to be highlighted.
Yeah.
That she rocks. We know she rocks. Yes, we know she's 20% cooler. Blah, blah, blah.
But she's the mascot of the show, right?
At times, yeah.
Okay.
She can
for
be
bronies, I guess it's probably Fluttershy. That's the symbol. That's how you make fun of bronies, right? You put Fluttershy on their desk. But for kids, Rainbow Dash is the selling point, right?
Yeah. But even though in this one she is apparently a bit more of an insufferable jerk in this, she does not. She has a lot less heart in this one than in the first one. First one, she had like a lot of heart because she challenged Twilight to a contest to see, I'll help you if you beat me. And the whole contest is to see Twilight's like heart, to see like how gracefully can she lose or something like that. And she lost. She says, okay, you lost well and honorably, so I will help you. And then in this one, she's like, I'm the star. I'm the best. I'm awesome. This is my band. And it's like,
okay, wait.
what the hell happened to you?
No. This is good, though. This is a good thing. I'll tell you why. This is something that I like a lot.
Why? What happened?
Have you ever been in a band?
No.
Have you ever been really close to a rock band?
Personally or just distance-wise?
Personally.
No.
Okay, so I haven't been in one, but my brother had been in like 9 by the time he was 16. And I went to tons of shows, and band dynamics, right? I love that they captured that the moment they started playing music together, there was this great connection they had that gave them magic tails and ears, but they also started becoming jerks. And a diva appeared, right? I love that, because that's true. That's the rock band experience.
So your band actually had the same thing that the MLP band did? They sprout ears?
What I'm saying, yes, almost all of them do. They don't actually sprout ears, but there is that connection, right? You guys who have been in bands, you know that when you're in a band and anything clicks, right? Especially when you're young, you don't even have to have anything that's actually good. If one thing clicks and you're making music together, there's this connection that you didn't get from talking, that you didn't get from listening to music together, that you didn't get, from being on the same team in other ways. And that ties really well into the Friendship is Magic theme and the way that they were bringing magic out. So there was this musical connection, and pow! Suddenly they came to their magical form. But at the same time, those band politics are exactly what tore them apart. And Pinkie Pie, when this is supposed to be fun. Of course, she loved banging on those drums, and she liked turning magic, but everything else was miserable for her because everything about being in a band is miserable, except for that magical connection. And it does change you, and it becomes such a part of your identity, and we don't actually have it in us to truly have a group identity. We're always going to be ourselves, so the group, while we can live for it, is still, like, we've encapsulated that in our own identity. So if the group isn't acting the way we want it to act, there's a deep personal insult. And the band is a great example of young people getting into that for the first time and not knowing how to manage it.
And plus, Rainbow is not the ipso facto leader. The ipso facto leader is Twilight, but they're trying to get along without her. So therefore, someone has to fill the role. You mean
the de facto leader?
Sorry, de facto leader is supposed to be Twilight. So they have to say, okay, someone has to fill the gap. Okay, who has the biggest ego? Rainbow Dash.
Well, but also the idea that she started the band, that was her idea. And it's also, again, very true to that to band experience, to rock band experiences. No, that was cool. Like the rest of the Battle of the Bands wasn't really like a Battle of the Bands. It was, it was much closer to Scott Pilgrim than it was.
Yeah.
Whereas the comics of Scott Pilgrim really demonstrated the music world well. The movie wasn't about that. The movie was about how cool it would be if bands actually battled. But and this represented that, and that's okay. It was a little scene. It was cute. It was fine. That's not a complaint. I don't know that. I shared the TV series with my brother and certain friends. I don't know that I would actually watch this movie with another person again. I wouldn't need to. But hope was restored in certain ways because it was just so much better than the last one.
Oh God, yeah.
And
all across the board.
The portal there, I don't know.
Having it open does change the dynamics now. It's like, so.
Well, and
Okay.
are you not the thing I was thinking about is having that portal open. Here's the question: does this mean that they go to the human world and dupes of the ponies come to Ponyville, or wherever they're staying right now, in season 5 or 6? Or does that mean that an Equestria Girls show is on the way?
Oh.
I gotta tell you, neither of those appeal to me from a business standpoint. Maybe they do, but like I said before, I actually much more enjoyed discovering, and think there's still room to discover because you can write more complexity than people think they can. The moment they found those crystal ponies, I was like, "Argh." But
New toys for the one episode.
that's fine. New toys are fine. In fact, new ponies are even fine if they can fit them into the paradigm. There, I used the word paradigm.
Good.
But
Today's episode is brought to you by
paradigms.
Paradigm.
Brought to you by Paradigm Industries.
Okay.
And Starbucks.
So basically, the story follows that immediately after the events of the first film, the 3 sirens or dazzlings say, "Oh, look, Equestrian magic now in this world. Let's go get it."
Yeah.
And then
They were watching the end of the last
yeah,
one.
they're watching from afar the ending of the last film, which apparently took 5 minutes in the end of the last film, which only took about 5 seconds in the beginning of this film.
Yeah.
Just so you know. And it's like, I could have sworn it took 5 minutes.
Actually, I think they cut away what was still going on, though. I think they were still staring at death rainbows when they cut to the present.
Yeah. So the movie picks up, like I said, sometime later. They never really say. They just say that happened some time ago. Yeah, now it's this time. And it's like, okay. And then later on, we find out that Twilight's in her castle. It's like, so this movie takes place, at the end of season 4. It's like, well, wait a minute. It's like, it can't be that long again because they're all still afraid of Sunset Shimmer, and everything's still pretty much fresh in their mind. And so it's like, it can't be that much. Cannot be that long after the events of the first film, because they're all still acting afraid of her.
I feel like it was almost a year.
It can't be.
You know what,
somebody
though?
would have gotten over it by then.
No, you know what? I gotta say, like,
She would have figured
it's
out.
not weird that the kids held it against her. It's weird that she hadn't been sent off to, like, some weird prison in Area 51.
It's just that she was. It just felt weird that everything was still fresh and it's supposed to be sometime later.
Oh, teenagers remember last year, though. Like, they don't remember They don't remember a bunch of important things, but seriously, when you turn into a demon and try and make zombies out of everyone and blow a hole in the school, they don't forget that.
I know they don't forget that.
They don't forget that at the 25th high school reunion.
Okay. If they have a make it future thing and someone still brings that up, fine. I'll admit that. I have it on record. Okay, but now, so Sunset Shimmer is still being a bit ostracized and kind of like, ooh, scary person, by everyone. The main 5 accept her as a friend.
But there has not yet been an actual reconciliation. They still refer to the events.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm getting
okay.
I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps interrupting me. I'm getting to that. Yes, they forgive her, but then they keep bringing up her past and like, yeah, like the last time when someone else came here who was evil and stuff, and we totally put the smackdown on her. No offense. And it's like, again, you're like the 5th person to do that. Why don't you guys keep seeing each other do it? After the first couple of times, you think like, yeah, let's not do that, but they get so carried away saying, yeah, we're so totally awesome. We kicked butt last time. Oh, sorry, Sunset Shimmer. I didn't really see you standing right next to me when I said that.
But I think that's actually deeper and stronger than that. I think it's that they imagine the Sunset Shimmer who did that as a different person from the person they hang out with now.
Oh, totally.
And I think that's very, very real. There are a lot of issues that we process that way, right? Past crimes are one of them, but it's also kind of how we deal with stuff like race, right? Like there's a.
I'm giving you 30 seconds in this one.
There are unspoken tensions and unreconciled differences, and also, of course, Sunset Shimmer oppresses herself in the situation. Mm-hmm. She holds back. She doesn't think it's her place.
Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's set up for your next point.
So, so she has all this. So everyone has something. Everyone has some sort of emotional something that they're holding into themselves, or onto themselves, or burning themselves, or however you want to say it.
Baggage from the last movie.
Basically baggage from the last movie. Yeah, it carries on, as it should.
Yep.
Yes, this is all practical, relevant stuff. This stuff should be there.
Right.
And so the girls finally, I guess after it takes them like a year, I'm guessing, or
Yeah, like
from what
nearly a year, right?
he says a year. I say it has to be lesser than that.
No, not a complete year, but didn't they say like last fall's
Yeah, last
thing?
fall
So it could have been the same year, or it could have been not quite there yet the next year.
or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. The time is screwy. That's what bugs me, is that there's no real time set. But anyway, it takes them a wardrobe change. It takes them however long that they finally come back and say, okay, we're gonna go to this school and we're gonna, brainwash everyone, make them all basically argue with each other, and then take it over.
That's the sirens who do that.
The sirens to do that. And so they go and they do their song thing, which is like, what we all seen. It's really cool, super awesome, and it's a good musical number. It's a good musical number. But the one problem I had with it from the original video the original video to this shot in the film was that they played up the background soundtrack up higher over the singers, so you don't really get that punch you did in the original video that was shown on YouTube earlier. So you have battle instead of battle. It gets drowned out by the melody, and it's like, wait a minute, you're losing punch there. No, bring that down and bring up the voices. There's your punch right there. So it kind of lost me there for that brief second.
If the number is just supposed to be a number. Now, I don't have something to compare this to, so I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you might be. I'm saying I might disagree in that I think that keeping it serpentine and slithery sounding and kind of echoey fit thematically with what was actually happening during the number in the movie.
I have no idea what that has to do with what I'm talking about.
Oftentimes, sound design choices are made not to make the song stronger, but to make the movie stronger.
Okay, but that still does not connect with what I said. I said the song is drowning out the lyrics.
You're saying that the music is drowning out... Well, but I heard the lyrics just fine, so the sound is not drowning out the lyrics. What you're saying is the lyrics...
Because he hasn't heard the original song.
It's not that it's drowning out. You're saying that the lyrics popped more in the music video.
Yes.
Now, are you sure the music video should be called original, or is it just the first one that was presented with the people?
It was the first one that was presented. Why? Because I remember, they don't call me I wasn't named to watch it for nothing.
Right.
I have an eye for this stuff. I mean, I can't write worth shit for it, but still, I know what I saw. There's a layer of effects that were added after that video was released, or at least taken and then eventually put on YouTube. One is the sparkle effects on the neck, and the other is the background music being played up higher.
Right. Well, and actually, background music playing up higher actually could just be the way the tracks were set in volume in the theater itself.
Possibly that. I hope it's not on the DVD.
What he's saying may be true. It may be that the music video is better. It sounds to me, though, since I could hear the lyrics clearly, that making the music seem like a drone, like something that is invading, that's pervasive, that covers more channels than a voice can. Like, that makes sense for the hypnotic song of a siren, to me. And again, I could be off.
But it wasn't. But it isn't just magic. The lyrics they chose specifically. Is to prey on their individuality and play it off as superiority. That's ingenious, right there.
Well, and that's for our benefit, though, right? Is that we can't feel the mind control, so they sing the lyrics to the audience, so we know what the effect on the students is. But yeah, it's. Actually, I was thinking about that. Watching their slithery, evil, I'm attacking you music. That's a scene in a lot of movies, mostly for kids, but it's a scene in a lot of movies that we remember. Like, we remember, Bette Midler making the parents of Salem dance to death in...
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Say goodbye.
There's a certain... Obviously, it needs a movie wrapped around it, but it surprises me... And it may exist in music videos more than I'm representing it as. But I think it's interesting that there aren't many bands that are successful that are, girl pop groups that do that are effectively like doing that cartoon for teenagers. This part's intense because we're destroying you with our voices.
Jigglypuff and I'm gonna see here. The Hex Girls from Scooby Doo.
The Hex Girls from Scooby-Doo is way like that. I actually think the truth is that real-life bad girls and the bad girl you sell in a cartoon are not related. They're not even similar.
Well, I meant that one song about Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
Not Jigglypuff.
Not Jigglypuff itself.
No, not Jigglypuff. The song that it sings, where it's Jigga. No, the soundtrack one. That they made about Jigglypuff. That's the one I was talking about.
I was just thinking that there may be an audience for an entire album that's telling you that it's possessing your soul in a cute way.
It's very haunting. Anyway, so that scene goes on.